So, with the Bills, and you touched on the thing that was the hottest topic in football for a while there after the divisional round. Is it the talent? Is it the coaching? Talent, coaching. And the only vote that matters in that conversation belongs to owner Terry Pegula. He decided it's the coaching. Talent's fine. And it was Pegula who dragged Keon Coleman by the shoulder pads and threw him under the bus. Oh, the coaches wanted him. That guy that we drafted who stinks. He didn't say that, but that was the implication. The coaches wanted him, not the general manager. Don't blame Keon Coleman on Brandon Beane. There's the production last year for the Bills receivers. When you consider what they have in Josh Allen, and the leading receiver had 719 yards.
Wow.
Now, the question for DJ Moore is this. Is he slipping? Is his game changing? Or is it just a result of, for whatever reason, he's 28, he turns 29 next month, April 14. He went from 140 targets in 2024 to 85 last year. In 17 games, with 80% playing time, he got targeted 85 times, down from 140. And the last time he was working with Joe Brady, he was targeted 163 times, nearly twice the number of times he was targeted last year. So is it, for whatever reason, Caleb Williams wasn't pulling the trigger, he's not featured, he's not the number one read? What is it that caused DJ Moore's production to drop? The Bills are betting on it being something about the Bears offense under Ben Johnson and not something about DJ Moore.
Yeah, and the Bills are betting that, and Joe Brady is betting that. But back to what you said about Terry Pegula. Hey, is it coaching or is it talent? And the owner said it's coaching, because he decided when he went to that locker room and saw guys crying after losing a playoff game. See, I'm just being a jerk here, but he saw people crying after a playoff loss, and he decided, oh, wow, they're sad. I got to get rid of the head coach. So he put that squarely on the Buffalo Bills season, squarely on the shoulders of Sean McDermott and Keon Coleman. So both of those are his targets. But doesn't this tell you, Mike, even if Sean McDermott had come back, would they have made a trade? Yes, of course they would have made a trade for a wide receiver. It's clear that if you look at the Bills, and I know you've made this point before, and Sims has too, if you look at their talent, defensively, that's a different story, but defensively, they don't have a lot of people who you say, oh, I fear that person. That person's going to be able to wreck our game plan. And offensively, you know what you got. You got James Cook, and you got Josh Allen. Reverse order. You got Josh Allen, you got James Cook. So none of those receivers that we listed, tight ends, receivers, not going to scare anybody. So I think the question is, not only is DJ Moore able to revive his game to that level, does Josh Allen respond to it? Think how many years Josh Allen, it has been since Josh Allen said, I've got to get this guy, I have to get this guy the ball. It was prime Stephon Diggs. So that was probably 2021, 2022, where he said, I got to get Stephon Diggs the ball because great things will happen. Will he look at DJ Moore and say, okay, I got to get this guy the ball. I got to get him up to those 100-plus targets he had when Joe Brady was his offensive coordinator, not his head coach right now. And if Josh Allen doesn't say that, does Joe Brady say that as a head coach and play caller? This is interesting. I don't see it, but maybe Brady feels like he can kind of go back in time and bring something out of DJ Moore that Ben Johnson couldn't. Think about that. Ben Johnson couldn't bring it out of him in a not pass happy, but in a friendly offensive system, but Brady thinks he can.
And if anybody's in a position to know how to tie these two strands together, it's going to be Joe Brady. How to make Josh Allen mesh with DJ Moore. And I suspect, now, I remember there was a time where we heard a lot of talk about the amount of contact that coaches were allowed to have with players during this dead period, and the CBA has limits. Quarterback can hang out with whoever he wants to hang out with. If Joe Brady's his friend, quarterback wants to get better. If Joe calls him up and says, hey, you want to come watch some NBA? And then when they turn on the TV, it's DJ Moore film, like, I suspect that there's been an effort to work directly with. Once you make Josh Allen part of the team that hires Joe Brady, you've given Josh Allen a stature that is not going to be ignored by Joe Brady, and Josh Allen is going to assume that mantle, and he wants to. That's the thing. Plenty of players, they don't want to hear from the coach between the end of the season and the start of the offseason program. They don't want to be bothered. They want some time on their own. But if you're Josh Allen and the clock is ticking on your career and your legacy, and look, it's not like his career is going to end anytime soon, but, I've talked about this in connection with the Bills' overall urgency. How many more spins do they have? Every postseason loss is the expiration of another 365-day cycle. How many more of them? Grand scheme of things, not many. Grand scheme of things, blink your eye and Josh Allen's retired. Grand scheme of things, well, hell, grand scheme of things, we're all dead. But the big picture, we're already dead.
Dr. Doom returns.
But happy Friday. Another Friday, another Friday closer to death. But there really isn't much time left for Josh Allen to get to where he wants to be. So you bet your ass he and Joe Brady spent a lot of time grinding DJ Moore tape, communicating about how Moore fits into the offense. Showing, look at that. Look how I ran that route. See that? Boom. Right there. Look at that. I don't know why they didn't throw it to him. Look at that. Think of what you could do with this guy. So Brady's the conductor, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to defer to his knowledge. Now, if he's wrong, oh boy. Like, if DJ Moore never gets the ball and he's doing this on the sideline to Josh Allen, like, that's a problem for Joe Brady. But I think the speed and the resolve, and I think if Sean McDermott's there, maybe they don't do this deal because McDermott doesn't know more. McDermott doesn't have that maybe they do Alec Pierce. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do a deal.
Look, every move they make at receiver.
Yeah.
Every move they make at receiver is going to be magnified now because we go from, our receivers are fine, except for Keon Coleman, who the coaches wanted. But the receivers are fine. Everything's fine. The talent's fine. Now they're going to go out and grab one guy. We'll see who else they grab. We'll see how much they do. And I've been saying this for weeks. If the Bills make a concerted effort to improve the talent of the team, specifically at receiver, they're going to be admitting maybe it was maybe talent was maybe it was a little part of it.
And by the way, I was just reminded of this. Why didn't people bring this up more? Maybe they did. When Terry Pagula said, "Hey, it was the coaches. This guy Brandon Beane, he's taking the shots. I don't know why, but the coaches wanted they wanted Keon Coleman. Why doesn't anybody bring up? Do you remember the quote? I do. I think I heard it or I saw it. Do you remember the quote from Josh Allen?
We played it. Well, I don't know about the quote from Josh Allen, but I know the quote from Brandon Beane when Keon Coleman was drafted.
Oh, yeah. But
they had one of their, all-access social media things. Beane clearly wanted the guy.
Yeah, and Josh Allen did too. Josh Allen was in on it, and I think he told Coleman, "You're the guy I wanted. I looked at receivers in the draft. I'm glad we got you. You're the one I wanted to get." Now, maybe you say that to all the receivers. Oh, you make them all feel special. Hey, I'm glad we got you. You're the one. We're going to do great things. But it wasn't just the coaches. Clearly, it was Brandon Beane. But also, Josh Allen wanted Keon Coleman, too. And so, yeah, watching that film, I'm sure he's watched film of other receivers and said, yeah, that looks good. You really never know until you get the guy in OTAs or all these quarterbacks now invite their receivers out to some cool place and they catch and throw and they have cigars and drinks, whatever, and just have a good time and bond. You won't know until that actually happens. But I do know this for Buffalo. What pressure now? What pressure in 2026? You got your new stadium. You were passed by the Patriots. You were passed by the young Patriots. You have soft schedule, all this stuff. They win the division. Drake May gets to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen. That doesn't even make sense. And so you look at all the things that are happening, not just with your franchise, but in your division. How are you looking up at the New England Patriots? And I wonder if they actually believe they're looking up at the Patriots, or if that was just a fluke based on the schedule and how things kind of fell in 25. But they did lose a game. They did split with them. They split with the Patriots. They lost the home game. And they beat them on the road. But they lose the division. And now they are kind of scrambling. As you said, they have to take advantage of the prime of Josh Allen because it goes quickly.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.